It is a real pleasure, and I really appreciate Kim Capen and Nancy Froio joining us this afternoon for this cross-country webinar and introduction to resident ownership. Kim Capen is the president of the Medvil Cooperative in Goffstown, New Hampshire, as well as the elected association director for New England that serves on the Rock USA board. All of the communities in Rock USA network have elect a regional director that serves on the Rock USA board so that we have good accountability to the communities that are in the network and that we serve. And we're happy to have Kim obviously in that role. And Nancy Froio is the former and founding president of the Halifax Estates Co-op, having just stepped down, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So maybe Nancy will talk about that some. But Nancy and Kim, if you want to unmute yourselves, and I'll just have you. Kim, why don't we start with you, because you're on the left side of my screen, just the way it goes. Maybe you could just describe the Medvil Cooperative. How big is it? What's it like? How long has it been a resident-owned community? Just give everybody a little feel for the community.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be here and share my story. We're a community in Goffstown, New Hampshire, 301 homes. It used to be the largest community in New Hampshire as a cooperative. Don't hold that distinction any longer, but we purchased about 15 years ago. Our community was actually two communities that had a adjoining road, and we purchased them both together. Therefore, we have two clubhouses. So one of the things, great distinctions about us is that we're a very active community. We have two clubhouses that are very busy all the time. We have about 35 social functions a year. We have two cribbage clubs that meet every week. We have bingo going on. We have a part of a recreation area in the low level of one of our clubhouses for pool and bumper pool, and we have a bocce court. So we're a very active community overall. So a great deal of social happenings within our community, and that's us.
Wonderful, Kim. Thank you. And Nancy, let's hear the same from you. Just describe Halifax Estates. How big is it, and how long have you been a co-op? Just give everybody a sense and feel.
I'd like to thank you also, like Kim did, for allowing me to be here and joining this. We are a large community. We have 430 homes. We have 155 acres. And we're in a very pretty area. We're in a country setting, and we have some older homes and newer homes, and we have lots of trees, wide roads, beautiful landscaping, and very well-kept homes. And we have been resident-owned for 3 years on October 13th, so we're fairly new at it. We are very happy that we did what we did. It was the best thing we could have done, and it's a great way to age in place.
Wonderful. And I did put up your website so people could see a little bit of each of Halifax and Medvil. Nancy, why don't we stay with you? And oftentimes, as you likely know, folks in communities would like to hear how does the co-op manage things? How do members, and specifically in a large community, how do members retain control over the happenings when it's such a large community? How are things managed at Halifax?
Well, we have a 7-member board of directors and a management company, and we all work together for the good of the community. We have monthly board meetings, and the board meetings are open to the membership. And during the board meetings, we have an open forum where the members can discuss any concerns they have. And then we put them on the agenda, and we all work together. We discuss anything that they have to talk about, anything they want. We have an annual meeting for elections, and the members vote on the budget for the new fiscal year. And every member has a say, and they help us with the rules. We will present the rules, any rule changes to them, and they vote on them. They all have a say in everything that we do. It's worked out really well. The members have really taken part in it, and they're very happy that we've done what we've done.
Great, great. Kim, same with you. What's the management plan at Medvil Cooperative?
It's the same. No, we have an annual meeting. When we go to that annual meeting, we have prepared for the members to look at the budget for the coming year, that we have to stay within those guidelines because they are there to approve it. We have a capital plan for capital expenditures that they have to approve. We have 9 board members in our community on staggered, we have 4 up 1 year and 5 up another year. So they're 2-year terms. And they are elected by the members in the community. And we have 9, and we think that's a good number for us because it gives us good representation across the community. They elect the board, the 9 board members. The board of directors also works with, we have about 10 or 11 committees within our community that help the board manage different aspects of our community. Our community isn't run, we do not have a management company in our community. We had one the first 4 years, and then we opted to manage ourselves. So we've taken, we're not only a governing board, but we're also a managing board of directors. So there's a bit more work in that respect. But because we have such a great amount of volunteers, we have between 110 and 120 volunteers on an annual basis that helps and support us as it relates to financing, maintenance, rules enforcement, and all the things that go into managing your own community. So we have a lot of help and support, which makes it a little easier to get folks to run for the board of directors. So pretty much the membership have a say in what, and they elect a board of directors to carry out managing a budget within their means, and they also, I might say one more thing, in that because we've done a pretty good job of managing our own community, in the last 11 years, we've had 1 price increase in our lot fee, and that was $10. So I think I did a few years ago, I factored in what it would be like, what our rent would be like if we were at a 3% increase every year for the last 7 or 8 years back then. And we're well over $100 under what we'd be paying if we were not a cooperative.
Great, Kim. And since, as you refer to this as a managing board, at Medvil, are directors paid, or you mentioned volunteers, I think, as well. So how is anyone paid for serving on the board?
No, the last thing we want is for anybody to be paid, because we value every volunteer, no matter what they do or how little they do or how much they do. And the only way to do that is to not pay anyone. We do have a paid staff. They can't live here. So we have maintenance. We have 2 full-time and a part-time maintenance person who manages the infrastructure and maintenance of our community. And we have an admin person who works part-time, about a dozen hours a week, to be the person who, because our financial piece is not managed by us. We keep that third party, okay. Which we feel is a smart thing to do. And we have an admin person who sort of coordinates things going to the management of our finances and coming back to us.
Great. Excellent. Thank you for that. And Nancy, in terms of committees at Halifax Estates, do you have committees of members as well?
We have lots of committees. We do. We have committees for everything, and we have lots of volunteers. And we all work together. They give their reports every month to the board of directors meetings, which we do have monthly, and they give their reports. We go over them, and we all work together. It just works. Everybody, they're all volunteers. Nobody gets paid at all, and we love our volunteers.
Wonderful. Excellent, Nancy. Thank you for adding that on. So I'm curious, could you just share with our California friends what motivated people in the community to buy it? And most importantly, do you think people would do it all over again if they knew then what they know now? Nancy, what's your sense? 3 years in, what's your sense of that? Why people bought and whether they do it all over again?
Well, it was an investor that wanted to buy our community, and come to find out, you mentioned Florida, and come to find out this investor had some properties in Florida, and we did some investigating, and we found out we weren't very happy with what we did find out. So we had all kinds of meetings and presented everything with ROC's help and CDI's help, presented everything we could to the residents, and they were all for it. There were a few holdouts in the beginning, but the very large majority was for it, and we did it. It was the best thing we could have done.
Kim, what's your sense? Why people back at the time, over a decade ago, and would they do it all over again?
Yes. The answer is, would they do it again? Yes. As Nancy mentioned, you have in the beginning, you have your naysayers who are concerned, probably a lot of fear about managing your own community, something that we soon learned that we had all the support in the world to manage everything that we needed to manage, and it was ongoing. We don't use it as much now because we're pretty seasoned, but in the beginning we used it a lot. But I mean, the reasons that we bought were security reasons. We did not want to be in the position of eventually the property being sold out from under us for a golf course or something else, in which case all of our investments would be completely liquidated, because you don't move these homes that easily, especially the ones that have been here for a long time. Mm-hmm. And the other reason is just the security. I mean, the effective lot fees. I mean, the lot fees would have gone up as we looked over other parks and even our own on an annual basis, and then factored that in and said, we can do better because we don't have a return on investment to worry about. We don't have a profit to worry about. We just have to manage at cost, and all that money that someone else would be making can be put back into our community, in which case we've done tremendous amount of work in our community. We started off in a tough situation. We had 300 underground storage tanks that had to be removed. Over 10 years, it cost us $900,000. But that's done. And if you ask people today, would they do it again? The answer would be overwhelmingly yes, because of what this community has turned into for them. I mean, we sell about 30 to 35 homes a year because we're an over 55 community, and generally 10% of your homes sell over each year. And I can tell you that there's a waiting list whenever a home goes up for sale, because I mean, what we have been able to do on our own has increased the values of our homes tremendously.
Right. I think we have time for one more question, which I'm dying to ask. So, Kim, I would just stay with you. And what would you say in the co-op's tenure here? What's been the greatest success, and really what's been the greatest challenge? Both
I think the greatest success is, I mean, we've been, other than our ability to keep rents low and the like, I think the greatest success is building community. I mean, not many of us had much in common when we first purchased. We might know our next door neighbor's first name and see them now and then and wave to them, but not a whole lot more than that. We all had one more thing in common when we purchased the place. We're all co-owners. And everybody was anxious to make sure this thing worked. So there were a lot of volunteers to begin with, and they were all put to work right away. And that led to, we have to have some kind of a social atmosphere. And so that led to an events committee that puts on lots of social events. And that led to neighbors inviting neighbors to the social events and then becoming volunteers. So it's one thing is spun to the other and back again. So it's probably the one thing that we, I think has been one of our greatest successes. Another thing is that we pride ourselves in being very good at communicating and transparency with our board. We hold a coffee house before every board meeting on a Saturday morning, invite people to come in for coffee and donuts and talk about anything they want to talk about. My opening remarks are always, what's the latest rumor? Let's talk about it, and let's bring the truth out. And it's worked extremely well. Our challenge is, as I said, we've probably effectively turned over our community 1.5 times in the 15 years we've owned it. So there aren't a lot of, there are some folks here that were here from the beginning, but it becomes less and less. And so passing on the culture of volunteering and the importance of that is a challenge, because, and we work every day to that. We're always looking at ways to engage people. We have new members come in and we right away have their names. We ask them right away, what are their talents? What are their hobbies? And we sort of jot down all that information and pass it to a committee chair and say, call them, they're dying to help. And so it's a challenge, there's no doubt about it. We want to maintain that volunteerism, because that's what keeps our costs low. And it helps the board manage our community.
Great, Kim. And Nancy, greatest success and greatest challenge.
I agree with what Kim said about the greatest success. In my opinion, it's our volunteers. And we all come together. We're all just one big happy family, so to speak. And people are more than willing to volunteer to do something because it's their community. And it's just, it just makes me feel so good to see this and to know that they have that confidence in us and the board of directors for what we've done, and we keep them included in everything, and they're more than willing to help out and volunteer, and it's just been really great. It really has. And as far as our biggest challenge, I think we inherited a few issues from the previous owner, and I think the biggest challenges we've had is trying to keep up with the issues that we have, such as trees and septics and roads, and stay within our budget. That's been a little difficult. We just went up on the rent $5. We just had our annual meeting and we just went up on the rent $5. So that's not bad. That's not bad, and nobody complained about it, and they see what they're getting for their money. And that's been, I think that's been the biggest challenge, is our budget, is trying to stay within our budget to get the work accomplished that we want to accomplish, to keep this a beautiful park.
Yeah, great. Well stated. I think we all can appreciate that. And I thought you might say one of your greatest challenges was the very significant windstorm that took down a lot of trees.
Oh.
I think within a few days of buying the community, I think, wasn't it, Nancy?
It was about 2 months.
2 months. There you go.
Yes, and yes, we had 35 homes were hit. We had what was it? About $115,000 worth of tree damage, worth of removing trees. That's what it cost us to remove the trees. So yes, that was a challenge. And again, that goes back to our budget Luckily, we had insurance that covered most of it, so thank goodness. It was just on a freaky thing when we were getting our insurance for our community, when we were purchasing. I just happened to notice there was a rider that you could get that covers wind damage, and it was only like $50 a year. So we got it. I pointed it out, we got it, and thank God, because that's what helped us through that time, paying for most of that damage that we had. We had well over 100 trees come down.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember. Wow, phenomenal. I did not know that little nugget about you checking that box though. Good for you. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you both very much. That was really great. And I learned some things, so that's always fun.